Hi guys, I'm a chef in London and a lot of you were asking me what's in my knife kit slash what are the knives I recommend. So I thought I'd show you everything that I own in my entire knife kit. So when we went to culinary school, we had to buy like a knife kit, or we needed to come with a specific amount of knives and equipment. So we all got, or the people who wanted to get, Wusthof knife kits. It's a German brand and I will back it 100%. It is so good. And this is my knife roll. This is actually what I keep my knives in when I'm going to jobs or when I'm traveling and stuff. Just because this is like, it's cool. I can like use it like a backpack basically. This is just easier. It's canvas, so like your knives won't cut through it basically. In terms of my actual knives, let me show you. So I have two big knives. This is my chef's knife. It even has my initials on it. I actually got these all sharpened professionally today, which is why I thought I'd make the video. See, my set is a Wusthof Classic, so they're a bit heavier than the Wusthof Gourmets, I think that they're called. It's just a classic chef knife. I used to use this constantly, and then I actually switched to Santoku. But I like this because it has that sort of rocking motion. Next, you have the Santoku. Like this. The thing that differentiates it is that it doesn't have that sort of rounded edge all the way, and it has these right here, so it's a bit more stable. Quick post edit comment on that: the dimples also reduce suction, so that if it's like a really juicy thing, it's not like sticking too much. It just allows a cleaner cut. This is what I started using in my second half of culinary school, and I actually really like this now. This is a fish filleting knife. It's a flexible knife, and you can see, look, I can literally bend it like this, because when you're filleting a fish, you basically want to like go right along the spine, so you want it to be able to like, look, it can literally bend like that. Next is a boning knife, and this is just a knife that we use for meat butchery. It's really good because it has this sort of like narrow tip. My knives are actually so sharp, I can't believe it. Really like thin, so you can easily get into a lot of like meat crevices and stuff. This is a serrated bread or pastry knife. It's basically just a big serrated knife, but it's so sharp. This is an office paring knife for little small things. If you're like trimming something, if you're just cutting something small, it's pretty useful. I love my paring knife. And then this is a turning knife. This is actually such a funny knife because you can really only use it for a few things. Turning vegetables, which means I bring the knife like this around a vegetable and you create like, I believe it's 8 facets to the vegetable, and it makes like this sort of oblong, like oval shape. We also use this for our gâteau pétivier, so like in pastry when you're making thin lines that you want to curve out. So turning knife. For example, tomorrow I have some work experience at a restaurant. I'm probably just gonna take my Santoku, I'm gonna take the paring knife, and I'm gonna take the office knife. In my first compartment, also this knife is one of my favorites. It's a tomato knife. It's not really, it's a small serrated knife, but we call it tomato knife. This is what I use for cutting any sort of soft fruit or vegetable, like tomatoes. It's so sharp, like cuts through soft things very easily. This is my steel for sharpening my knives. You should be sharpening your knives before and after you use them, or at least after you use them every single time. I have a thermometer. I use this for like checking meat if I'm unsure, things like that. In the middle compartment, I have a sauce whisk. This whisk is good because instead of a regular balloon whisk, this will get into the crevices of any pots or pans. It's whisked really well. Like when you go like that, it's a lot lighter and it's very good. I have kitchen shears. These are really strong shears. They'll cut through like meat and stuff and cartilage. I have a pair of short tongs like that. Just have a pair of long tongs as well. I have like a pastry palette knife. This is for pastry, and our teacher would always get mad at us because we used to call it our fish spatula, because we would like flipping our fish with this, but it's actually meant for pastry when you're like spreading things around. A small sort of palette knife. This is for like more delicate sort of pastry. And a long palette knife. This is my favorite. I flip things with it. I spread things with it. I frost things with it. I love this palette knife. Like it's literally so good. When I'm making pastry, I use this to unstick stuff. And then finally, in my last compartment, I have a silpat mat. It's like for very sort of technical baking when I don't want to use parchment. When I want to bake something very thin, or I want like no bumps or anything, that's what I use. I have 2 spatulas like this, just normal spatulas. I really like these ones, and I like that they have a bit of a concave area in it because I can really like go in and like get all the stuff. This little compartment I have, it's just like a macaron stencil if I ever make that, which I probably won't. These are just cookie cutters basically, but you can use them for so many things, like stamping out so many things, but they're different size cookie cutters. This is a mat that you put underneath your cutting board so that when you put it on, it doesn't slip, it stays put. These are pastry brushes we use if we want to like paint something quite intricate on pastry, or if we want to use it for glazing or things like that. that for more small, like see for example if I was making something really tiny and I needed to glaze it with egg wash, I'd use like this tiny little brush. I have 3 of these frosting nozzles. I have a small round one, star tip, a big regular one. So yeah, that's everything that's in my knife kit. Let me know if you guys have any questions. If you want to know what I would recommend for like a home chef that really wants to get a good knife, I would say get a Wusthof classic chef's knife or a Santoku knife. Get the tomato knife and get the office knife, the small paring knife. The fish and the boning knife is nice to have, but you can do anything with your chef knife that you can do with those knives. Those just allow you to have a bit more precision in what you're doing. Thanks for watching. Love you guys.